All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm King Tyson. Don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe like I always tell y'all to do in the beginning or the end of my videos. Check it out before we start. Write me at King Tyson 713 at yahoo.com. If you want my advice about something, you want my opinion about something, write me King Tyson 713 at yahoo.com. Also, if you like this content, please go to the video tab section of this YouTube channel. Click on the video that interests you. Watch it. Give me some feedback in the comments. I really appreciate that. So look, check it out. It's going to be a special video, right? Are side chicks really special to men? That's the question. Are side chicks really special to men? I got this question in my email, and a woman said, she asked me a question. She said, hey, she gave me a rundown of what she's been going through. And she said, hey, King Tyson, do you think I'm special to this guy? You think this guy really appreciate me? And she calls herself a side chick because she said she know the man is married, but she says that, hey, they've been rocking together for a minute. And she said that she wants to know, what do I feel about if so she says that the brother, spends time with her, treat her, make her feel special, right? Make her feel special. Take her on dates, look out for her financially, he does everything as if he's her real boyfriend, but he's married. So she asked me, do you think I'm special? Because we've been rocking together for a long time. So I read the email and, I have to think about it for a second. As a man who, was the side dude before in back in the day, in relationships, and I know how I was when I was, when I had a chick on the side or whatever, right? Back in my day, right? And I was dealing with some, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm gonna be honest with you. Side chicks is only special for a man for sexual gratification. Real talk. That's the only positive about, for a man, we having a side chick, is a sexual gratification. That's it. Because if you wasn't putting out sex, he gonna stay with his woman, or he gonna move on to the next woman who gonna put out. You gotta remember this, ladies. It's about sexual gratification. A man who has a side chick, you gotta think about this for a second. He already got a woman who he loves, a woman who he is not gonna leave. More likely, this is a woman he been together for a long time with. More likely, this is a woman he got kids with. Married men, me being a married man myself, married men knows married men know it's gonna cost us a lot of money to get a divorce. We gonna probably lose half our assets. Gotta pay child support. So you gotta pay for another household, and then you gotta pay for your own household because you're not in that household no more. So it's like you paying two households. It's cheaper just to stick around and just be with your wife and cheat with a side chick on the side. I'm just telling you how married men who cheat thinks. Now, all married men cheat. I'm saying the ones who do cheat, they think like this. So this is the reason why they haven't left their wife. And ladies, I want you to understand, most married men, okay, you're gonna have exceptions to the rules. I know women that jump into my comments and say, that ain't true. Married men leave women all the time. Leave their wife all the time. Listen, it's only far in between that happens. Married men, you gotta understand, when you are married, it comes with this different from having a girlfriend. The entitlement is different. When you are married, you looked upon as more being respectful from other people versus you just being a single man. Not saying that you can't be respected being a single man, but people really look up to you as a married man. You know, your peers, you know, younger people, you know, and women can contest to this too. You run across a married woman, you know, you look into it like, damn, okay, she married, she doing something right. Or you look into a man, he married, he doing something right. You always looked upon differently when you married. It comes with a certain type of I hate to say like a certain type of level, but it's a certain achievement, you know, when you marry. Like you reach this achievement of, okay, I'm serious, I'm responsible, I have a wife, I have kids, you know, I'm disciplined. Excuse me. So there's a certain way people look at you when you are married. They look at you as you're more polished, you're more settled down. You're not trying to be this wild playboy no more, cause you're not single, you married. So men know that it's a certain type of respect, a certain type of look when you marry, right? And so married men know this, and they not trying to lose that reputation, you know, by just getting divorced and leaving their wife. Do you know how her family will look at you? How your own family will look at you as a married man leaving your wife? This is why marriage is this is why the percentage of marriage, the divorce happens, is because the woman left the man instead of the other way around. People will look at you crazy. Why you leaving your wife for? And you damn sure can't leave your wife for another woman. You know how crazy that shit'll look? Somebody gonna say, so you gonna leave your wife and kids, this whole household you built over here, for another woman? It's crazy. When you married as a woman, you decide to leave your husband for another man, and you got your husband over here. It looks crazy. So what I'm saying is, this is why people who are married, who cheat, they don't just leave like that. This is why I tell people, you know, now let me say this, right? Women are very emotional creatures. If a woman is married and she cheating, a man can easily get her caught up in her emotions and get her to leave her husband, because women get caught up in their emotions. Because everything starts being, you start falling in love with this man. You know, not saying all women cheat. I'm just using this for example. Men, on the other hand, got a better ways of separating love from sex. This is the reason why men can just come home after cheating and still kiss his wife in the mouth. I know, ladies, you're gonna say to discuss it, but I'm keeping it real. Act like nothing never happened. Because a man can separate love from sex more than a woman can. Now, I made a video about this. Can women really separate love from sex, right? And on the video, I kept the video up. I kind of got confused. I was starting on a point, and I said, well, damn, maybe women can separate love from sex, but to a certain extent, they can't. Women can't. And I noticed that. You get a woman wrapped up, women can easily. This is the reason why pimps can know how to get into a woman's mind. You got to think about this for a second. There's got to be some emotional manipulation going on, where I can talk you into performing sexual acts. You get money, and then you giving me the money from your sexual acts. and then I give you what I feel like you should have. All for me protecting you. So you got to understand, a woman's mind is different than a man. Ain't no way in hell you finna convince a man, so I gotta perform some sexual acts and give you the money for these sexual acts. Man, shit ain't finna happen. Shit ain't gonna happen at all. That shit ain't gonna happen at all. So what I'm saying is that I want my ladies to understand that in most cases, married men don't leave their wife. And this is what I try to explain to the sister. Most married men don't leave their wife. Now, she was asking, do I think he gonna leave his wife? And I said, well, have y'all had talks about this before? She said, no, we never had talks like this, talks about that before. I said, well, if y'all haven't had a talk about that, he don't have no plans on leaving his wife. The only benefit he's getting from you is sexual gratification. Ladies, do y'all know if a man truly had it his way, a man would have a main woman he deal with and a woman on the side? I think every man could be like, you know what, I can handle that if it was possible to have a main woman and a woman on the side. That way, ladies, if you don't feel like we married, you don't feel like having sex, I can go to the other woman on the side, and if you don't feel like it, I can go to her on the side, right? I think every man, if he had a choice, he probably would have that. Ladies, y'all mind don't think like that. If y'all married, y'all mind don't think, well, in most cases, y'all don't think that if I got a husband, which 9 times out of 10, your man ain't finna turn down no sex, 9 times out of 10, right? But you're not gonna be like, okay, if I had a husband and then I got another man on the side, y'all mind don't think like that. But us men, our mind do think like that. So what I'm saying is that, in so many words, is that a side chick is only special to a man because of sexual gratification. Now, there's always exceptions to the rules. You will have a man who, but it takes, you gotta understand, man. Married men don't just in the real world scenarios. I ain't talking about movie shit. I ain't talking about social media shit. I'm talking TVs and shit. I'm talking about real life. Real life average married men do not leave their wife for other women. Real talk. They just don't. It ain't no fairy tale of a man was married. Him and his wife was just so unhappy that he fell in love with a side chick, cheating with the side chick, and then he go home to his wife and say, baby, I'm not in love with you no more. I'm in love with her. It shit don't happen like that. It just don't. It don't happen like that. In real life scenarios, it don't happen like that. A man usually get caught cheating. A husband usually get caught cheating. Men who do cheat, husbands who do cheat, I'm sorry. They normally get caught cheating. The wife finds out and, be done with them. And usually you married, most cases your wife might, if a husband get caught cheating, she might forgive him. It's gonna be sad. He might be crying. She gonna be crying. It's gonna be a while before she get over it. But it's like in most cases, right? Women don't usually leave. That's the thing. See, women don't usually leave men for cheating, right? You get one. I ain't gonna say you get one freebie, but I'm saying it's like in most cases a woman don't, especially a woman who's married, they don't just leave their husband for the first time that he get caught cheating. When it starts being very disrespectful and multiple different women, like, goddamn, hold on, motherfucker, I forgave you for one. Now you gonna cheat on me with 3, 4, 5 different women? This is where I got a problem at. And this is where it's time to leave. I gotta protect myself. You ain't finna give me nothing I can't get rid of. Cause you got a problem. This is how women be thinking. So what I'm saying is that a side chick, cause you gotta understand this, right? You gotta understand this. The reason why I say a side chick is only special to a man for sexual gratification only because you got to remember, ladies, a man can have a wife, one side chick, and then talk to another chick. Remember, men be having rotation. Remember a roller deck. So is a first side chick woman special? How is she special? He got a wife, and he got another female he messed with too, as a roller deck. Now I know you thinking, ladies, you thinking, well, that's effed up. You know, well, what about his wife? Is his wife not special? But a side chick is? The wife is special because the wife or the main woman holds a place in his heart that he wouldn't want to leave her. They've been through a lot of shit, you know, or they've been together for a long time. They got history. You know, he want everything to work with her. He just got this issue. We talking about men who do cheat, not men who don't cheat, because you got brothers who don't cheat. But men who do cheat, you got brothers who still love their main woman. And they don't want to lose their main woman. But they might have an issue with staying disciplined. Right? They got an issue. They got a fault. And as brothers, you got to look at, especially if you married. Now, if you dating, you cheating on your girl, you wrong for that, right? Of course you wrong. But when you married, you got to understand why you feel like you got to cheat. Because if you a man who got down on one knee and proposed to your woman, you took vows with your woman, you got to figure out, why did you do all that and still want to cheat later on? Because when you took vows to only be with this one woman for the rest of y'all lives. So a lot of times, brothers, you got to figure that out for yourself. Why is that? And you can't say it's the wife. It's the wife why I feel like I got to step out and shit like that, right? Because with this woman, this side chick, right? Because what if this side chick says, you know what, I can't keep doing this no more? Because women do this. These side women do this. I can't keep doing this no more. I'm not going to get my blessings because I'm messing with somebody's husband. And they cut you off, right? Then you jump from her to another side chick. So what's making you feel like you got to keep stepping out on your wife? These are things that, brothers, we be having this in us to feel like we missing out on something, or we feel like what validation are we seeking? What do we feel like is like what are we seeking? Why are we doing this? If we already had promises to only be with the one woman we decided to spend the rest of our life with by getting married to. You got to look at that, brothers. You got to look at that. Because if that's the case, you should have stayed single. You know what I'm saying? You should have stayed in a relationship, or not even stay in a relationship, because you should just stay single. Real talk. In my personal opinion, my personal experiences, yeah, you could care for another female if you got a wife, which is fucked up to say. I know. I'm just saying. I'm saying that I feel like a man can kind of care for a side chick, but at the end of the day, if it came between his side chick and his main wife, or his main woman or his wife, he's gonna choose his wife or his main woman over the side chick. And this is the reason why I say side chicks. And the only reason, and the reason why he's choosing her, his wife or his main woman, because this is who at the end of the day, this is who he truly loves. But he just wanna get his rocks off on the side with the side chick. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. So are side chicks really special to men? Nah. Only for sexual gratification. If you take that out, let me tell you, if a side chick take that off the table, well, we can't have sex no more, you think he's still gonna be dealing with you? You think that man still gonna be dealing with you? No. He gonna be like, well, shit, I might as well just, get that with my wife. Get that with my main woman. So this is why I say, I don't believe it. Contrary to what other people might say. Because men, we know how to separate sex from love. We know that our woman is a woman we want to be with the rest of our life. But this side chick is just somebody I'm smashing. I might care for her. I don't want nothing bad to happen to her. But if it was a life decision between this woman and my wife, a man's gonna choose his wife every time, most of the time. And you just gonna be somebody on the side. Out the way. Side chick is only special to a man for sexual gratification. That's it. I'm King Tyson. Peace and blessings. One love. Don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe. On to the next one. I'm out.